ha visto cómo se pone cuando la gente no vota. Hay mucha gente, hay electores locales que hacen decisiones para nosotros que de veras sí impactan a nuestras vidas. Y pues quiero que todos de la comunidad vengan para decir en su propia voz qué es lo que ellos quieren. Y pues sí, para que toda nuestra comunidad cambie para lo mejor.
Since the mid-1700s, with occasional bouts of xenophobia, of not wanting immigrants, we've been a constant wave of immigration. We've been able an unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the.
And it was from Astrid, telling me of her dreams that she wanted to be fulfilled, that she couldn't, because she was not a citizen, even though this was her country.
If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides.
Today is about unity.
Yeah, Nina, just 92 days out from the general election, President Donald Trump is taking aim right here at the swing state of Nevada, specifically targeting Assembly Bill 4, working its way through the special legislative session. In a tweet that was released just hours ago, the president called for immediate litigation over AB 4, retweeting his Nevada campaign co-chair Adam Laxalt's claim that Sisolak and the Democratic Party are trying to, quote, steal the election, end quote, by ramming through expanded mail-in voting. Governor Sisolak hasn't directly addressed AB 4 yet, but did rebuke a previous tweet by the president condemning mail-in voting and threatening to postpone the election. In that tweet, Sisolak says he will continue to support the safest, most accessible election possible in this situation. Trump has not pulled punches over mail-in votes in the past, trying to make it a key pillar of his 2020 campaign, including spreading unproven claims of foreign interference with ballots.
You guys like to talk about Russia and China and other places? They'll be able to forge ballots. They'll forge them. They'll do whatever they have to do.
Well, AG Aaron Ford here posting on social media in response to Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes. Now, Reyes told the Salt Lake Tribune that there is evidence of voting irregularities that may have resulted in improper votes being counted or proper votes being rejected in Nevada. Now, at this time, we should mention no evidence has been presented or found that there were widespread problems or improper voting.
Kirk Hartle's wife, Rosemary, who passed away 3 years ago, she is one of two cases of somebody who died on Clark County's voter rolls. They were sent a mail-in ballot, and that ballot was returned. The question now is, though, who voted for her?
It was disbelief. It made no sense to me.
Kirk Hartle said he was surprised when he found out his wife, who died in 2017, had sent in a mail-in ballot.
I was surprised because she passed away 3 years ago. I was surprised to even get that.
Rosemary Hartle died at 52 from breast cancer. Her name is still on Clark County's voter rolls, and since everyone in those rolls got a ballot, one was sent to Rosemary. But Kirk says a ballot never got to his house.
That is pretty sickening to me, to be honest with you.
According to ballot tracks, the mail-in ballot was sent October 9th and returned the day before Election Day. Clark County officials say Rosemary's signature is a match to what's on their records. Registrar for Elections Joe Gloria says any illegal activity will be flagged. Now, Keith Hartle wonders who took advantage of his grief, adding he's surprised his wife received a ballot at all.
It certainly brings up a lot of discomfort. You know, there's a pretty exhaustive process that you go through when someone passes.
And in a second case, a man who died in 2017 also had a ballot cast in his name, but election officials tell me it appears his daughter actually sent in that ballot and she never cast her own ballot. Clark County has forwarded these two cases up to the Secretary of State's office. They're the ones who actually investigate.
They have come up with zero evidence of widespread fraud.
And that is not true. That is absolutely not true. People have signed legal documents, affidavits stating that they saw illegal activities. And that is why we need to have this conversation in court. The New York Times itself said that there were clerical errors. If you look at what happened in Michigan,
fraud, Governor, that's
that we had
different.
computer glitches that changed Republican votes to Democrat votes. You look in Pennsylvania, dead people voted in Pennsylvania. So, George, I don't know how widespread it is. I don't know if it'll change the outcome of the election. But why is everybody so scared just to have a fair election and find out? We gave Al Gore 37 days to run the process before we decided who was going to be president. Why would we not afford the 70.6 million Americans that voted for President Trump the same consideration? If Joe Biden really wants to unify this country, he would wait and make sure that we can prove we had a fair election.
Well, joining us tonight is Sidney Powell, a member of President Trump's legal team, General Flynn's defense attorney, a great American and prominent appellate lawyer. Great to have you with us, Sidney. Let's start with Dominion. A straight out disavowal of any claim of fraud against the company, its software or machines. Your reaction?
Well, I can hardly wait to put forth all the evidence we have collected on Dominion, starting with the fact it was created to produce altered voting results in Venezuela for Hugo Chavez, and then shipped internationally to manipulate votes for purchase in other countries, including this one. It was funded by money from Venezuela and Cuba, and China has a role in it also. So if you want to talk about foreign election interference, we certainly have it now. We have staggering statistical evidence. We have staggering testimony from witnesses, including one who was personally in briefings when all of this was discussed and planned, beginning with Hugo Chavez and how it was designed there, and then saw it happening in this country. As soon as the state shut down on election night and stopped counting, those are the states where the most egregious problems occurred. We also need to look at, and we're beginning to collect evidence on the financial interests of some of the governors and secretaries of state who actually bought into the Dominion systems, surprisingly enough. Hunter Biden type graft to line their own pockets by getting a voting machine in that would either make sure their election was successful or they got money for their family from it.
Good morning. My name is Susan Prophet, and I'm here as an observer to watch the ballot counting. I have been an observer in poll watching. I've been sent to troubleshoot at various locations. I've been at numerous polls, and I can confirm without a doubt that Joe Gloria, our registrar in Nevada, deliberately and consistently made it impossible for any of us to see what was going on. I repeatedly asked on one occasion when I was in this facility that they remove a stack of paper towels and personal bags and backpacks that were strategically placed in the viewing window. And on the other side of the woman in the closest location, they put a big chair with a big bulky coat on top of it to block the view of people looking from either way, from the sides. And they also have a tape that you can't get any closer. And so you have to sit in a chair and view from that position. Well, who can see over all that garbage? You can't. And so I have a disability and I can't stand for hours. So I asked them to please move them. They had done it once before, but that was the first day when all of the news reporters were there with their cameras. So when I had asked them to move what was at that time nothing but a stack of paper towels, they said, no problem, we can put them underneath. And they did so. But this time she says, no, they have nowhere else to put these. I said, but I cannot see and I have a disability. No. I tried, I moved around, I tried to see from other positions. And after another half hour, I asked her again and she refused. And I said, please, please ask your superiors. So she did, but she took another half hour to get back. So they were slow walking me, as the Democrats are so good at doing. And then she came back. The other handler that was working with us said, these other people have some questions. And so this woman said to her, all right, I can answer their questions. But she has to pick up or pack up her things and come with me. Management wanted to talk to me. So I asked why I was being expelled, because they've been expelling everybody they can. And she says, oh, you're not being expelled. They just want to talk to you. She was very rude about it. So the other lady took me there, and she was very polite. And we had a nice conversation. And while we were having a conversation waiting in the conference room, 3 different people, including Joe Gloria, our registrar, came in there to eavesdrop, not acting like they were paying any attention to us. And then they walked out, and about 20 minutes later, I asked, well, when is this person going to come and talk to me? And she went out and tried to find out. So about 5 minutes later, Joe Gloria comes in and says, how can I, oh, no, he said, what's the problem? Joe Gloria said, what's the problem? And I said, there's no problem. I just, I thought I was going to be meeting with this other woman. And he says, well, I'm the boss. And I said, oh, great. Then I have just one request of you. Could you please ask your people to remove the things that are in front of the window? I cannot see, and I cannot stand for hours. I have a metal plate in my neck, and seriously, I can't stand that long. So he said, oh, I have no problem with that. So we return to the viewing area. Nothing is done for another 25 minutes, and I looked at my watch and told the lady, I think I might as well go because I'm not going to be able to see anything, and this is a waste of the time. So the lawyer that was there for the Republicans decided to leave at the same time. So we all 3 left, and as we walked past Joe Gloria's office, the door was open, and I clearly heard him say verbatim, obviously, we do not want them to see everything. Keep them 50 feet away. So, I'd like everyone in China and around the world to know that we in Nevada are fighting on the front lines, and we cannot give up because we know it's corrupt. I have been processing reports from the people here that know me and are calling me with horror stories of how things are happening to them, so many of them. One Hollywood producer called and told me that he witnessed 3 automobiles, one with an official Biden stickers on the sides, and I've seen that car around before. They have several here. He witnessed them receiving boxes and boxes from 2 other vehicles that arrived, and they all had Oregon plates. So he said it appeared that they were transferring voting material, ballots.